today I am very excited about our conversation today. We are actually speaking with Lourdine Jean-Francios. She is a founder of a company called Abundant Counseling. She is an empowerment coach and consultant who helps cultivate compassion, connection, and commitment in the workplace. She does this by supporting purpose-driven organizations, leaders, and their teams while making their contributions to the world. Welcome to our show, Lourdine. I am very excited for this conversation.
I am very excited to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we're happy to have you. Of course. Yes. So what I like to do with these podcasts is actually let you introduce yourself and your background and what you get going on and how you help individuals in the workplace.
Absolutely. So I am an empowerment coach and business consultant. I have over 15 years of clinical experience and really 10 years of management experience. And so I merged those two worlds to create an offering or an opportunity to support purpose-driven organizations who are experiencing signs of burnout, resignation. We're in the middle of this great resignation, as a result of just all that's transpired over the last couple of years. And, so many people are in pain, so many people are suffering. And that pain and suffering doesn't just go away when it's time to clock into work or when it's time to step into the building. And so what I help organizations do is provide a safe, secure, and supportive environment for their team so that they can continue to make their contributions to the organization and to the world while navigating life's inevitable challenges. And so how I support organizations.
I love it. Old rule that everybody used to live by is all your personal stuff stops at the door of your workplace. But technically now we're all working from home. A lot of us are. So that affects our workplace. It affects everything about us. And that should never stop when it comes to coming into work.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we live in a culture where so many of us are used to compartmentalizing even our own existence. I mean, your humanness does not leave you just because it's time for you to work.
Right? No, exactly.
You have to be aware of that, especially in the workplace. We spend too much time at work.
We do. They're your second family. You spend sometimes you spend more time at work. And now we're in the hybrid workforce. Or a hybrid workplace, I should say. And a lot of us actually spend more time working than we do with our family. And companies are actually trying to find ways to actually combat that, to get their employees to not work as much, because a lot of companies want to support that work-life balance. But it's kind of hard when your computer is everywhere with you when you're sitting at home. So
setting those boundaries, it's important, but it is difficult,
So speaking about boundaries, how do you advise individuals who do, whether they're leaders or they are employees, how do you advise them to set those boundaries? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, it looks like having a schedule and a clock in, a clock out schedule, right? And really doing your best to stick with that. It looks like speaking up when you're overwhelmed. If you do have too much on your plate, just, finding the courage to say no. I mean, for many of us, we think we have to just do what we're told or what we're assigned to do for fear that we don't, you really don't. It's okay to say no. It's okay, not only okay, but necessary to prioritize.
It is.
Mental health and well-being. So I would say have a schedule. Remember to put yourself first. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, eventually your work is going to suffer anyway. So you might as well.
Exactly. And they're just gonna. And they're just gonna replace you once you leave. I mean, it's sad to say. It's sad to say that. I know we take pride in our employees and their personal lives as well. We'd like them to actually have a life. So it's very common for me to tell all of our employees that we onboard is to look in your calendar and put time blocks first. Let us know when you are not available. Put that lunch on there. put that break on there. If you're a new mom, put that personal time on there. It doesn't need to be after work. It doesn't need to be super early in the morning before anybody else in the house wakes up. Let us know when you are not available, and then we will work around that. Trust me, the work will be there.
Yeah, that's so supportive. That is really supportive, because the work will be there. And like you said, somebody would have a stroke today or a heart attack today, the work would still be there, right? And
exactly.
So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We I actually had a conversation with not an employee of ours, but someone who does work for a bigger organization, and she actually just came back from maternity leave, and she couldn't fit pumping into her schedule. And I'm like, well, that's legally your right. So you have that right to take that time off, even if there's a meeting. You don't have to be on the screen, camera off, and doing that. You just tell them, I'm not available at that time because of this. And it's crazy because she didn't even know that she was able to say no to that stuff. Like, I need to do this. And it's shame on the employer for not making that something of a priority, and making her feel comfortable to actually even come up to them and let them know that.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you told her that,
Oh yeah. I'm all about that. I'm a mom of two, so I definitely take all of that into consideration. I feel their pain.
Yeah, indeed. And if she were at work, they would have to provide a space for her.
Exactly.
This,
Yeah. So, quick question. So, how do you help your clients when it comes to a remote workplace? So, how do you engage them? What do your services look like with the new way we work now?
Yeah, definitely. So I engage them virtually. I provide one-to-one coaching as well as trainings for staff. And so thanks to this computer we have here, there's so much more, so much more we can do, and so many more people we can reach. And so so virtually one-to-one, via computer, or I do trainings as well, group trainings as well. Mm-hmm.
Nice, awesome. So do you think employers are actually taking an initiative to invest more in their employees' well-being as of today?
I mean, I think so. I definitely think so. I think, they have to at this point, as I've said, as people evolve, employers need to evolve too. And so if the burnout rates and the great resignation hasn't taught us something, it's that it's time to make some adjustments and some adaptations. And we're beyond the raises being enough to keep people on board. We're beyond the promotions being enough to keep people on board. People want to feel like they matter and like they're connected to the mission and the vision of the organization. So yes, I am seeing more organizations reach out for consulting, for one-to-one coaching for their staff. I actually just had a call earlier today with this one organization. They're going through a number of transitions and productivity is down, and people are seeing the effects of what's been happening for a long time, which is ignoring the humanness.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignoring the humanness of us all in the workplace, and the chickens have come home to roost. Okay, that's So pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Right now, for a lot of organizations, they're at the point of suffering, and sometimes it takes getting to that point to then say, okay, I need to do something different here. I need to change. So I'm seeing more of that happening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that we had to go through this pandemic to realize, okay, our employees are not just a number. They're actually fueling our company. I tell everybody, I will say this over and over again, is that your employees are your biggest asset. Absolutely. And you have to treat them well. You will see that in your ROI of the company. If you treat your employees well, they will treat your business well. So definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say, yes, it's unfortunate. It's also fortunate though, right? Because sometimes things have to fall apart for people to do it. Right. And so what we've seen is the falling apart of structures that really have been wobbly for a very long time. Right. Yeah. And now the rebuilding is going on. So I like to, you can't always find a silver lining, but I like to look for them. And I think that's one of the things that came out of this COVID experience people having a greater appreciation for life and people getting more connected to the things that really matter to them, including the work that they're doing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if their goals are aligned with the company, like the company's purpose, like if I as an employee do not believe in what the company believes in or what they're trying to do for the world, I'm not going to be there. And that really opened a lot of eyes to employees of, is this somewhere where I want to be for the next couple years? Do I believe in the same as the company? And a lot of companies, I actually had a conversation, I was on a happy hour last month, and they were actually talking about how we live in a multi-generational workforce. So there are going to be, there's different ages in all of our work places. And someone said that millennials now being in the workplace, they're whiny and they don't want to do a lot of things. And it's like, well, hold on, first, I'm a millennial here, so you can't really say that. And secondly, it's not the fact that we're whiny, we don't want to do anything. We know our worth and we know what we want in a company. And there are so many other newer companies that know that, and they're willing to give that to their employees. And it's crazy to see it shift and the way employers think and the way leaders think about the workforce. So just wanted to throw that out there. It's like, we're not whiny, we're just, we know what we want.
We know what we want, but what's also happening is like consciousness is rising, right? People are becoming more aware of their worth. We're becoming more courageous. We're seeing ourselves as light. We're really seeing the essence and the divinity of who we really are. And with that comes requirements. When you start to see and really appreciate the value, not just the value you bring to an organization, but you as a valuable being, where you're becoming more aware of your worth in that manner, like, yes, you're going to ask for what you want. And people will call it, you whining, but that's okay. No, this is me knowing that I deserve better. I deserve more. Right?
So a lot of with Planly, how we start our like onboarding with clients is that we actually first we ask the workforce, what is it that they want? What is it that they want most out of a wellness program, or what most out of their life or their goals? And that's what a lot of employers are missing, is they're not asking, they're not seeing what it is that they're essentially their family wants, and they're just putting things into place, not realizing that this could have negative effects. They could lose employees because of implementing something that wasn't even needed in the first place. So do you see this happening? And if you do, are you working with companies who are trying to like backtrack and fix it, or is this something that you see that organizations are doing and not even batting an eye to?
Well, so I don't see many organizations doing it, but that's one that I support organizations with doing, right? I find what their values are as an organization, but also what matters to the people, their assets, what matters to them, and really helping managers connect with and really, everybody wants to know, whether they admit it or not, are you here for me, right? Do I really matter to you? That's what all relationships are based on, right? When you have that secure base, that secure connection, people are willing to work hard for you. People are willing to take risk for you because they feel like, I'm okay here. I matter here. I'm more than just a number to you, right? And so because of that, because I know you're invested in me, then I will return the investment by showing up, right, and and performing, for you and on behalf of the company. So I don't see as many organizations doing it, but more and more organizations need to, because that's where we are. It's about value. Am I valued? Do I align with the values of this organization? And then the contribution, right? But we have to make sure that we're connected to the value, and that we're showing people we care about them.
I want to go back to what you were saying about the leaders, but it's definitely it's not about money anymore. A lot of corporations are finding out that I can throw money at an employee and they can still leave. It's not about that anymore. And I think that's what happens when we do have a younger generation in the workforce as well, is because they have different goals. They don't care about future pensions or anything. They want to know is how do you value me as a person? How are you going to help me with balancing my life as well? Because I'm working for you, but I definitely want to know that you care about me as an individual as well.
Absolutely. It's the shift from time is money to time is more valuable than money. Like that's
exactly
that we're making, because money you can get that back. Your time you can't.
You cannot. Yeah.
Oh,
I love it. So back to you working with leaders and managers. What does that look like for you? Because I know there's a lot of leaders are stuck in their ways. So how do you kind of help teach them how to not be stuck in their way?
I mean, well, first of all, by helping them see whether what they're doing is actually working for them, right? And how do you know that it's not working? Well, are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you frustrated about coming into work? Are you not able to cultivate effective relationships with the people that you support? I mean, these are some of the signs that what you're doing isn't working. So first, paint that picture, right? Is it working or not? And since it's not working, right? What would it working actually look like, right? So what are some of the ways that we can get unstuck, right? How can we be more in the flow in the workplace, right? And for me, and that's the coaching and consulting method, that my coaching and consulting method is the flow method, right? Because a lot of us are stuck because we're avoiding what is instead of getting in the flow and accepting and going along with the natural progression of life and evolution, right? The natural progression of life and change. So, so normalizing where they are, helping them see whether what they're doing is producing the results they're looking for long term. And if not, helping them come up with ways or showing them how to get unstuck by identifying the values, the things that are important to them in their organization, getting out of their head, right? Being more present, being more mindful, focusing on connection instead of just the numbers and productivity. Yes,
exactly.
A secondary benefit, right? But what matters most is the connection, right? So bringing people back into their hearts, right? Creating some heart and mind coherence and not just being so practical and analytical all the time. We got to bring the heart to the workplace.
Yeah, I love it. I know a lot of times why they're like that, just stuck on the numbers and the and just the results, is because oftentimes they get that from the top. So how do you work with the executives of the company? Do you work with executives on the company on trying to change that? Because I know that a lot of that stress comes from the top. So
absolutely. I mean, really what it is it's fear-based thinking, right? It's a scarcity mindset that creates all of that pressure, right? And so again, it's, are you seeing the numbers you want to see? And why do you think you're not, right? And usually, they're able to identify what isn't working well, right? And what is working well, right? And then helping them realize that the numbers are just one aspect of the work that's being done here. And when people feel like you're invested in them, the numbers will increase, right? Their productivity will go up, right? And showing them the evidence of that, showing them the research that supports that, because oftentimes the education is so necessary because we're just not aware. So if you could just show people, right, when you contribute to people and invest in people in this way, these are the benefits of that, and creating a new narrative, showing them a different way.
No, I love it. So I always like to ask our guests, what is kind of a misconception that people have about what you do? Like, do they go in thinking a certain type of way and you kind of have to change their way of thinking? So just to put that out there, what does that look like for you?
I think so. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about at least the work that I do is that I approach coaching and consulting from a very non-linear perspective. And what I mean by that, it's not about cause and effect. It's about causing an effect. So the way that we show up emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? These are the things that I think matter the most. So one of the misconceptions people have is that I'm just going to come in there and give people coping skills, right? And tools, right? When really I want people to I'm helping people connect with the essence of who they really are, their soul's purpose, and how their mission here on this planet, right, is playing out as a result of the work that they're doing. So that's one of the misconceptions. I'm not coming in just to teach about tools and how to meditate and all of that, because people know how to do those things. And quite honestly, we're not. I'm not trying to be facetious, but no, it's fine. A lot of those techniques and tools that we shout out at people, they're just other ways to escape and avoid what's happening.
They are.
And mentally, they're escapism tactics. So yes, we can talk about meditation, but what we can also talk about is, do you know who you are? Do you know why you're here? Do you see what you're here to contribute? And how is the work that you're doing aligning with that? What does living a purpose-driven life look like, not just in the workplace, but also outside of it?
Yeah, no, I love it. I can definitely see that with working with any area of the business, whether you're an employee, an executive, or whether you're in HR. I can definitely see that working. And yeah, I don't like coping skills on how to deal with an already stressful situation. It's like, well, let's fix the stressful situation first, and let's not teach everyone to how to manage it and keep working through it.
Let's take off these band-aids. You can't heal that way. Right? We're coping.
No, you can't.
We're coping, but when healing is required, right? And those are two different conversations. And for a lot of organizations, these are conversations we shy away from, but they're the conversations that we absolutely need to be having, especially right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So my last guest, Rebecca O'Brien, she's actually a wellness coach as well, and how she got into that space was she actually went through a whole healing process for a couple of years because she was a high functioning stressor. She knew how to work and be stressed at the same time, and it was affecting her body, and she had to go through a long healing process in order to actually get better. And now she's doing, she's giving back, and she's actually helping organizations and individuals on how to actually notice those signs before then. But definitely, no, we don't need coping mechanisms. We need to fix the issue. And if we can't fix the issue, then we need to remove ourselves, and we need to help heal ourselves and get to what it is that matters to us most. So I love it.
I'm so glad she, taking your pain and turning it into your purpose. I mean, it's so powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Do you have any events coming up? Any new services being offered?
Yes. So my flow coaching and consulting offer is live. So if anyone is interested in learning more about that, they can find me on LinkedIn at Lourdine Jean-Francios, I believe, and Abundant Consulting LLC. I think I have 2 pages. Don't ask me why. But LLC, you can find me there. I'm also running a Masterclass, She Redeems, Reclaim Your Power and Thrive. So that is going to be on May 15th. Awesome. And so you can also connect with me on LinkedIn for details about that as well.
I love it. I love that you also gave the where our audience can find you. That was going to be my next question. So yeah, you beat me to it. I love it.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and for our audience, I'll go ahead and link Lourdine's information on how to get in contact with her. Definitely with her events and services coming up. I'll go ahead and post that in the description as well. Always, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I value everything that you're saying, and our audience does as well. So thank you so much for being a part of this. For everybody else, thank you so much for joining. And if you are new, please go ahead and follow us for more episodes on how to redefine your workplace or even yourself. Until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.